Hello. This is Andrew Prometheus, sipping on the blood of my enemies. Today, we will talk about actions and the fact that they have consequences. You may be able to tell I was crying a minute ago. Yeah, I was crying. I'll tell you why. Almost 13 years ago, I loved a woman and she loved me. The day before Thanksgiving, she went to bed. The next morning, she didn't wake up. She overdosed on heroin, maybe fentanyl, maybe alcohol. I'm not sure. I wasn't personally able to see the results of toxicology. But the reason this is relevant is because I haven't been able to think about it or talk about it for that 12 years pretty much. This is day 20 for me off of drugs. So memories are coming back, thoughts are coming back. I have to face things, process things, look at things that maybe I didn't want to look at or think about this entire time, right? Today, I woke up, felt my heart was beating a little quickly. My resting heart rate is about 105 right now. Yeah. Healthy human heart rate, 60 to 90, maybe 100 tops. If you have a resting heart rate over 100, that's considered unhealthy. I have reason to believe I've been pushing this heart rate for the entire 20 days, and I just started measuring it. Now, it might just be some anxiety because I don't smoke weed anymore, but it also could be left ventricular hypertrophy. My heart could be too big because of all the steroids I did, and I could have a serious issue that I have to face. It's not impossible that I'll have a cardiac event on the way to the doctor today. Nothing's certain. I currently find myself in a position where I have to face the consequences of the choices I made for the last 13 years. Because I've been getting high as fuck and doing drugs the entire time. Right. Trippy drugs, uppers, downers, alcohol. I basically didn't touch meth, crack, and heroin, PCP, and I thought that made me okay. Right? I was wrong. The same way that the night that she died, I completely took her for granted. I didn't really answer her text messages, and I fucked another girl, my ex, at the time. First time I ever cheated on a woman in my life. I wish I could say it was the last, but I've probably done it a couple times since then. Luckily not recently, but first time ever. She fucking died. So you can imagine the guilt, the shame, the self-hatred, right? The self-punishment that ensued after something like that. Basically this entire time. That ended 20 days ago with sobriety. But that ended in the ER because I thought I was going to die. Not because I'm a good fucking person. Not because I saw better. Not because I wanted to do better. Because I got scared that I was going to fucking die and selfishly stopped. You know what I mean? That was my rock bottom. Yeah. I probably deserve to die 100 times for taking too many drugs, going somewhere I shouldn't be, doing something I shouldn't do. For some reason, I'm still here, right? But now I find myself wondering, did I waste my entire life? Am I going to die today? Am I going to die tomorrow now that I'm finally fucking clean and actually have something positive to maybe contribute, some real work to do? You know, I'll tell you right now, a dream of mine is to own a publishing and record label, publishing company and record label. I want to put out books and music, not just my own, but others. People that want to have their art go out there books that are being burned right now, like the witch burnings happened, works that are being edited, altered, taking people's words out of context, twisting them. Something I'd like to combat with a company, because it's companies doing it. But now I have to wonder, am I too late? Did I miss my fucking chance because I was getting high the whole fucking time, right? That's what I have to wonder. The most I can do is say, don't do what I did. Make a move sooner. Find something to contribute to the world. Find what you love. Get out of the fucking gutter. Stop hurting yourself and other people to try to feel better or escape from the consequences of your own actions, right? I didn't know she was doing heroin. I had no idea. I thought she was sleepy, right? I was green. I didn't know anything about anything. People hid things from me, and I didn't find them. I didn't know that they existed. Her birthday was the day before mine. She died on Thanksgiving. And she was supposed to come with me home to my home in Florida over Christmas break. So, birthday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, out the window for the last 13 years, right? Don't want to be conscious on those days, on those weeks, on those weekends. Y'all talk about Black Friday. You don't understand Black Friday. Black Friday is the darkest day of the year for me, man. Every fucking year. People want to buy shit, right? I get angry. I get really angry at people that think material things fucking matter at all. When there's definitely human beings there taking for granted and neglecting and hurting that they claim to love, right? This is the truth. This is reality. I fucked up. I never thought it would happen to me, ever. I assumed I had forever with her. I was joking around with a friend at the time. The only reason I fucked that bitch was because I called it my bachelor party because I was going to marry her, right? Think about that. Me, a husband, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, it almost feels unfair to every woman who's come after. Because whatever piece of me died with her, it's gone, man. It's gone. And it's not coming back. I'll always be a little colder, a little more empty, and have a little less warmth in me, knowing that that's how this fucking world works, right? Up until then, I was naive. I believed in a loving God. I believed in those things. Part of me has to sit back and wonder, was she saved from me? Would it have been worse if she spent the next 10 years with me, with where I was headed? And unfortunately, in hindsight, I have to say maybe. Maybe. A good friend of mine was talking to me about it this morning. I'm not going to name his name, but he lost a girlfriend to suicide at 16 years old. And he told me that things could be flipped and things could be mirrored. I could have been the one that went down. She could be carrying all this pain. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that some little part of me this whole time wishes it was me. And that means that I would have missed out on my little brother, right? That means I wouldn't have been there for everybody who maybe I've lent a hand to this whole time. Everybody I've ever trained would have never been trained by me. My cat would be in another home with somebody else probably. And some part of me has to zoom out and believe that somehow, even though I can't do the fucking math, this is the best version of the timeline. Just like when you watch that old Ashton Kutcher movie, Butterfly Effect. As fucked up as everything was, every time he went back to try to change it, it only made shit worse, right? I'd be lying if I said I was okay with it. I'd be lying if I said I forgave whatever entity drew the plans where that's how things had to go, right? The truth is, if I die and get to look God in the eye, I will try to kill that motherfucker. Mark my words. Because I'm still hell-bent on revenge. Which means deep, deep, deep down, wherever she went, I might not get to go. Because she was loving, she was caring, right? She was good. Even though she was in a bad spot. And over the last 13 years, I've become something else. I'm not even the man that she loved anymore. I'm completely different. But I'm still me. That hatred, that anger, that was in me the whole time. And it just needed to come out. I will never forget when I got that phone call. I was with a good friend of mine, one of my best friends ever. We had just poured a shot of tequila, I think it was. And we were just hanging out, shooting the shit, having a great time. I was probably telling him how excited I was to go back and see her, even though I was about to disrespect her and do some really dumb shit. Or had already done it the night before. Hours went by, she didn't respond to my texts, and I told myself she's fine. She's absolutely fine. Nothing happened, man. Her phone's dead. Some shit like that, right? She's fine. And I got the call from her mom. And she told me what happened. And of course, my first instinct was denial. No, that's not true, right? No way. But then, probably just to convince myself it was real, I called every single one of our friends and told them what happened. Because I didn't want her mom to have to keep doing that. And it felt like my responsibility. Our little friend group called ourselves a family. She and I were like the mom and dad of it. Whether people remember that or not, man. And the very first family that was mine, that I was a part of, I failed. I failed to protect her. I failed to protect everybody. And of course, I wonder if I had looked a little closer, if I had cared a little more, if I had been a little present, if I had been more responsive via text message, would she have gone there and gotten so fucked up that night, right? Did some part of her spirit know exactly what I was doing and need to cope with that in the moment? Or did I know that I couldn't control her and that there were things about her that I didn't even understand? And was I just doing my best to play the game a little bit? Right? Well, it's not a fucking game, man. Actions have consequences. You don't play with your body. You don't play with your health. You don't play with other people. You don't play with that shit like it's a game. Because you'll find out it's not a game, man. They call it the drug game. It's not a game. They call it the pimp game. It's not a game. If life is a game, then maybe it is, because it's real life. It's the game of life. It's not some video game you can turn on and turn off. It's not a chess game that win or lose, you can fire up the pieces again and just play it again. If you believe in reincarnation, God bless you, I do too. It doesn't matter. Each one of these go-arounds is very fucking important. You don't assume you have tomorrow. You don't assume you have 10 years. You don't assume you have anything other than right now. What do you do with it, right? So I'm going to go to this doctor's appointment today, and I'm going to hope to fuck that I didn't already fuck my body up so bad that there's a real problem going on in here. That I'm just anxious because I don't smoke weed anymore, and I didn't actually enlarge my heart so much fucking around with steroids that I'm in a serious pickle, right? It's not a game. It's not a game, man. I can make excuses for why I did what I did. I can make excuses for why it's not my fault, but I remember it was my fault. I could have done something else. I could have made a different choice. I could have took the high road. I took the low road. And I got what the fuck I played for and paid for. Once again, deep down, I know I can't blame anybody else, man. I didn't deserve her. Other people might get away with it. I didn't get away with it. I got exactly what the fuck I deserved, right? Something to think about. People are very quick to hate me. People are very quick to talk shit about me when I'm not high and I'm being myself. Everybody liked me a little better fucked up. Everybody liked me better drunk, high, I felt like, right? I'm starting to realize the people that matter hated to see me like that. Couldn't watch me self-destruct and slowly kill myself. They couldn't watch. And the people that could sit there and watch were either doing the same thing or were happy to see me die. And that's real shit. I don't fuck with what Slipknot has become. I have my theories about Sean the Clown Crahan being a fucking creep, enjoying creeping out, scaring, being weird to kids. I know a goddamn weirdo when I see one, right? But I'll never forget the story Corey Taylor told when he started the band that said he used to do meth with these people, and one day he went unconscious and it seemed like he died. And they threw him in the fucking dumpster. People that he thought was his friends threw him away like a piece of trash. I would rather be in a room with nobody, or one person, or two people, or my cat, than 100 people that are at that level doing that, man. This isn't to judge anybody that's gripped by demons and devils. But you need to know what you're a part of, what you're doing, and what you're not doing. That was not a fucking family. And if it was such a fucked up family, I shouldn't have been a part of it or started it. If I had any role in all of that happening, it was a huge mistake, man. But the reality is I was young, I was naive. She taught me how to crush up my first pill. She taught me how to make a line out of it. She taught me how to snort that shit, man. And then when she died, all I did was crush up pills and snort them. And now I know why. It made me feel close to her again. You know? Imagine if a parent taught me how to do that. Like people whose parent sits them down when they're 13 and they say, hey, let's do this together. I'm going to pour you your first alcoholic beverage. Hey, let's smoke a cigarette or a cigar together for the first time. Make you feel like a man, right? Make you feel like a woman. That is the worst fucking thing you can do to somebody, man. Because then every time they miss you and want to feel close to you, what are they going to do? Light up that cigarette, pour up that fucking glass of alcohol, man. That's a real problem. I see people out there who show people how to work out, show people how to make clean money, show people how to make great art. That's giving somebody a gift, man. Not teaching somebody how to get fucked up and escape and poison themselves and the people around them. That's not a gift, that's a curse, man. I used to think that that moment that she died, she was able to see both paths. Everything that would happen if she did and everything that would happen if she didn't. And I think something about the fact that she really did love me, man. She was like, nah, I'll take this one. Because if it's not me, it's going to be him and maybe worse, right? But how can I live with that? How can I live with that? That just makes it worse. I don't know if you believe in Gnosticism, if you believe in the Qliphoth. I don't know if you believe in God. But they call the eternal wisdom the Sophia, the Ein Sof. And if you study it, she helped create the demiurge, the malevolent creator, the angry God. If any of you are curious how the fuck I got here, study it. I don't joke about worshiping the beast. I don't joke about hailing Satan. I don't have coagula and solve tattooed on my forearms as a fucking joke. I am the Baphomet. I am the thing that should have never fucking existed, and yet here I am. All I want is revenge. All I want is revenge. But I can't have it, can I? Because who would I have to seek it against? God? Myself? Some drug dealer that's probably already gone or dead anyway? Right? Some wannabe fucking pimp who puts bitches on drugs? Right? Smacks the shit out of them and then feels like a big man? Yeah? Right. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I stare into that abyss too long, it stares back, next thing you know, that's all the fuck I become. That'd be worse than death, wouldn't it? Yeah. Learn from me. Don't make the same mistakes I made. There doesn't need to be more than one of me out here. The same way that you're the only you out here, man. It's not fun. It's not cool. None of it is. If you think you hate me, maybe you do. If you think you love me, maybe you do. If you think you want to be me, you fucking don't. If you think you are me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's the truth. Honest to God. Prometheus out.